Thanks for joining us here on Agri-Pulse.com. Joined now by Todd Van Hoose with the Farm Credit Council. And Todd, a lot of the discussion happening here today at the Ag and Food Policy Summit is revolving around trade and regulatory policy. I'm wondering, why was it important for the Farm Credit Council to participate in these discussions?
Well, we think these meetings are really important because, as we saw during the last Farm Bill, the agricultural community's ability to come together is what it's going to take to pass this next Farm Bill. And as we in Farm Credit look around and travel around the country, we talk to a lot of farmers who are urging for Congress to pass this Farm Bill on time. And so we think it's important to support organizations like this and events like this that allow agriculture to come together and build some momentum. You know, it's been a tough few years out there in agriculture, and the sense of urgency that I hear around the country as I travel about pass the Farm Bill, protect crop insurance, protect our trade opportunities, is really starting to get pretty loud out there. And so we think this is an important part of that.
Mm-hmm. In the remarks that you gave from the podium earlier today, you said and I'm paraphrasing here, but you said passing a Farm Bill somewhere around the top one in terms of policy priorities
Absolutely.
For Farm Credit.
Absolutely. That's our main priority for the year. I mean, and just to make it as simple as possible, we urge Congress to pass the Farm Bill and the President to sign the Farm Bill. You know, there's always going to be a lot of debate about details. There's a lot of programs to talk about, all of that, but set that aside for a minute and just say, look, it is important to pass this Farm Bill, and that's what we're telling Congress.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of the other conversation that happened today at the Ag and Food Policy Summit is mostly trade and regulatory based, but I also know that infrastructure is a huge priority for Farm Credit, not only this year, but in years past, and I imagine in years to come as well.
It is. As we just heard Ranking Member of the Senate Ag Committee, Debbie Stabenow, talking about the announcement about $625 million for rural broadband. That's a great first step. You know, we've had great conversations in Congress and with the White House about the importance of rural infrastructure, the very different needs that rural communities have. You know, it's interesting. We were on the phone with some of the folks from the White House one time, and they were asking for projects. Hey, what kind of projects do you have in mind? We want to talk about billion-dollar projects. And we said, look, if you give us $1 billion, I can give you 2,000 rural water systems that we can fix. And it's just the scale is different, the destinies are different. And so we've been trying to make that point all year long, and we think we've made a lot of progress. So the administration's proposal has come out and said, hey, we want to set aside for rural. The Democratic Congress put out another plan, which also has a great deal of benefits for rural. So we think that message is getting through, and now we just want to get to the finish line.
And right now we're talking about a new farm bill. There's an infrastructure bill being discussed, also a number of trade deliberations going on. 2018 could be a huge year for American agriculture.
We keep telling that. We keep telling people, look, keep an eye on this because you know, Congress is talking about a farm bill, an infrastructure bill, and the trade negotiations right now may have more importance than anything. I mean, I keep hearing people very worried about, you know, if we do this on the tariffs, we're going to be retaliated against, and then where does it go from there? So I think there's a lot of angst in the countryside around what's going to happen in this trade situation. And when you couple that with 4 or 5 years of tough prices, you get the blood pressure up out there pretty well.
Todd, thanks for joining us.
You bet.